Welcome to a new episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to actually be turning a piece of this wonderful desert ironwood that I have, and it's already cut into a small 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch by a little over 2 inch long pen blank, because I'm going to try a new type of pen today, and I'm also going to use a new product. So let's get over here and take a look at what I'm talking about. I'm going to be trying out these three Starbond products, and if you go to the description of the video below, there will be a link for you to click on if you want to save 10% on trying out some of these products. And then I'm going to be using these parts over here. It's a Sierra grip pen in order to put together a pen using this piece of desert ironwood that I already have chucked up. So let's go about doing that. So before I start drilling this, I just want to say that a lot of woods are very toxic. So do your best to avoid breathing them in, especially this particular piece right here. This desert ironwood is known, like many other types of woods that bugs won't eat, to be fairly carcinogenic to humans. So I've been a tree planter throughout my life, and I just want to let you know that there are a lot of trees out there that can do damage to us. So it's designed in for a reason. It keeps them from getting eaten, and it keeps them protected from certain pathogens sometimes as well. Other times they can't fight those pathogens off that might come from somewhere. So having said that, I have a HEPA filter vacuum that I'm going to turn on. It's going to be a little noisy. All right, so now I'm going to turn down here, probably on this. I'm going to turn at about 1200 RPM, just so I don't burn up my bit too much. And I will back it out as well. I don't want to heat up the wood and cause a crack. Now that I have the hole started, I'll turn it down even a little bit more, down here to about 800. So backing it out. This particular wood hardens up because it has so much cow urine and stuff in it. So it's a little bit weird. Turn that off. Don't get your finger pinched between here and there, or you will rip your finger. So turn off your machine if you are going to do that. Don't try to put your finger up in there. And we're through. There we go. Out of there, because once it hardens up, it can be harder to get out. And this stuff is weird. It has a lot of I think it has a lot of cow urine inside of it, because it comes from the Arizona desert on a cattle farm, and most of the moisture that it gets is from urine. Now you can see, hopefully, I got a nice clean hole through this and pretty straight. So now what I like to do with this stuff, because it will like to split, is I like to treat it. I'll put my tube in with some of the thick CA glue. So I'm going to be using the Starbond thick here, and it comes with several applicators and some small applicators that you can get as well. Anyway, I'm going to try this stuff out right now. This will be the first time I'm trying it, but I have heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to give it a try. All right, so one thing I'll say first is I really like this applicator tip. I can get a nice fine point on it, and it still wants to come out even with this thick, so I do like that. So I'm going to give it a try. Anytime I'm gluing, I like to sand my brass tube first, and I found an easy way to do that. Go in both directions. Just roll it on your hand like this, and go in both directions. And then you'll get a nice cross hatching of sanded material for good grip. All right, so sometimes I might put some gloves on or what have you, but right now I'm going to just try this out. I like to get a healthy bead down one side and then kind of let it run a little bit. Then I'll grab from the other end and get one end started and then wiggle and in, spin, little in, spin, a little more, spin, and then get it all the way in there. And then I'll flip it over and I'll set it down here, wipe off some of the excess, set it down there, and then I'll be grabbing some of the accelerator. Now, I'm going to try the accelerator out, although, you know what? I'm not going to try it out on this because I like my tubes to actually set up pretty well for a second. I'm not going to try it out right away, because I want it to set up, then I like to flip it again. Because now if that's got any little voids in there, it's running up and down and trying to kind of meet with itself. I let it do that for a couple seconds. And then once it's done doing that for a couple seconds, I'll take and accelerate it. And that way I'm sure that I'm getting a good bond in there. And there we go. You know, I will say this too, this accelerator nozzle is really nice. It got a good fine mist, which is very essential to getting good application of this. You don't want big globs coming out. This was a nice fine mist, so I like that. That was a nice clean application. Now all I need to do is trim the ends off, which I'll be doing on my chop saw. So now, as you can see, I'm trimmed off on both ends, right up to the edge. All right, so now that I have that fully anchored on with this Starbond thick and Starbond accelerator, I will be turning this down. You're gonna hear some noise because I'm gonna turn on my vacuum system again and put on some safety gear to protect my lungs here. I'll be turning up real fast. Everything's locked off. A little bit of pressure, but not too much. It's spinning nice and true. And I'm going to be turning up here around 2,500 RPM. And I'm trying to direct the dust down into the vacuum system. So now I'm going to come in. Take a look. Okay, that looks like it's going to be a gorgeous piece of this desert ironwood. So now, I'm going to turn that off. All right, I think that's going to be sweet. So now what I like to do, I'll do a little bit of sanding just to get rid of any tool marks, and then I'll be doing some thin CA. A little bit of finer sandpaper. Okay, so now I have this piece sanded up to 1500. Next thing I'm going to do that I always like doing on my pieces, I'm going to put some thin, and I'm using this Starbond here again. Super fast, instant adhesive. I got to open it up, and once again it's got a really nice fine applicator tip, and I'm just barely going to nip the end of this. There we go, nice. Okay, so here we go. All right, and why I'm doing this with thin is I like to really saturate this piece. This particular type of wood is very oily, so I won't get a lot of penetration, but I'll get a lot more penetration with the thin than I would with the medium, or especially with the thick. So now I'm just going to let this one kick off on its own for a while here. Because this stuff is pretty fast anyway. I can already see it's kicking on its own there. The reason I like to do that is I just like it to saturate in as much as possible before it kicks off. That's the whole idea for me of using the thin. I'm letting it really penetrate as much as possible. All right, now turn it back on low speed. Hit it with some accelerator. Okay. Oh yeah, and that's nicely dry. I can feel it. There's nothing tacky about it. It's fully penetrated. Let me bring these lights around so you can get a better sense of this wood. Hopefully you can see how beautiful this is going to be. So there you go. So that's my first coat. I'm going to do another coat like that with thin, and then I will switch over to medium. Another thing I'm really liking is they give you the applicator tip, and then you still get the cap to close it up. So now my applicator tip is hopefully going to stay a little bit better, and I can just put the cap on it here and put it away. All right, so by now you've probably guessed where this progression is going, and that is in this medium Starbond CA glue direction. I'm going to be applying medium to this now that I have it sealed and buffed or sanded down to 1500 grit to start out with here. It's looking real nice and smooth, and I will be now applying this medium to it, and I'm right here around 580 still. I get a little on the rag and then move it back and forth, making sure I get good coverage. All right, and there's a coat of that. We'll let that cure up for a second, or two, or maybe even 5. I like letting it sit for a while because what happens is some of the creases or bumps might level out a little bit more. Just like paint. A little bit of the accelerator. Oh yeah, nice. That is really nice, because I have had some accelerators where you accelerate it and it's still a little gummy, sort of. So this stuff does seem like it's real good, and we'll see what happens with it over the long term, but so far I'm really happy with it. I'm going to put probably another 10 coats or so of that medium on there, and then we'll take a look at it when I'm done. All right, so now I've got it polished up. I'm adding some layers of thin CA glue right now, and then I will be polishing away the application lines that you see right there. Okay, I'm going to press it together now. Got it all finished. I'm going to press the finial. Finial cap pressed on. And there you go. So I think it's looking real pretty. This particular piece is looking real good. So the Sierra pen's pretty nice because you just place your refill with the spring into the nib assembly, and then you take the twist mechanism and screw that into the nib assembly, and then you take your already pressed pen part and just slide it on, and then twist, twist. you're ready to go. There you have it, finished pen. Thanks for watching another episode of The Naked Turner. Thanks for watching this episode of The Naked Turner. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and share and leave a comment. And if you're interested in saving 10% off of the Starbond accelerator and CA glues, then by all means click the link below in my video description. You'll find a link down there. It'll take you to a page where you can make orders and save 10%, and then I'll get a 10% commission on the sales that come through that link. So thanks again for watching, and like I said, if you enjoyed this, give me a like and share.